Golf is expensive, but let's talk about some of the ways that you can actually save money booking tee times like I did when I was a little bit more budget conscious. So first off, there's obviously a tee time scale of cost, right? There's morning tee times, there's afternoon tee times, there's twilight tee times, and there's even late twilight tee times. The further you get into the day, typically the cheaper it gets, with mega twilight, super twilight being the cheapest because there's not good odds you're going to get 18 holes in. But ultimately that discount is worth it, especially if the cost compared to a morning tee time is a third or even half of the price. Now that might mean you have to play in some hotter weather, especially where I live, or if you live in the South or Midwest this time of year. But ultimately, if you want to get it in, that might be what you need to do. The next thing is know what's around you in terms of municipal golf, right? Municipal golf typically is the cheapest in your area. It's usually run by a city, municipality, local government, and it's a public park essentially that they keep around for people to go play and enjoy. So the price is going to be pretty reasonable as long as they're making enough money to kind of keep the lights on essentially. Even in municipals, though, there are going to be levels of cost, right? The morning tee times are going to be more expensive. The afternoon ones are going to be cheaper, similar to your standard public golf fare. Something to be aware of, too, is a lot of these golf courses have what's called season passes. Sometimes they call it memberships, but ultimately it's a season pass. So with that membership or season pass, you either get a massive discount on tee times, you get free range balls, etc., or you get full access to booking tee times for free, carts, range balls, etc., for a fee, similar to your monthly dues would be at a country club. But the majority of the time, those dues and fees are typically cheaper than a country club, so you can play a lot of golf for a reasonable price. Now, the downside is to this is that if you want to play a whole bunch of different places, you're kind of locked into one place because you're putting all of your money into one basket, so to speak. But for anyone who wants to find a good place to get better over time and really wants to grind and get a bunch of rounds in, this is a fantastic option for a lot of people. The other option is look for tee time deals. There's a couple of different ways to do that. There are some companies online that offer discounts. There's a local one in California called Golf Moose that people use, where they buy tee times at places. And usually there's restrictions like it has to be on a weekday or it has to be in the afternoon. But sometimes you'll find some of the cheapest golf at some interesting places through those sort of brands or websites. Sometimes as well, Golf Now and these other websites will have lightning deals or hot deals that'll be 20% under the rack rate for those specific clubs or municipal golf courses, allowing you to get a little bit of a deal, but you're going to probably have to play as a single or maybe a twosome. Hopefully these tips help.